Morning everybody, it's Rob, Yoga Dad. Got the raincoat on this morning. Storm on the way, hopefully not in the next 15 minutes or so. It'll blow me away, and maybe the chair as well that we're going to use for today's session. This is day 22 of the Summer Stretch Challenge, raising money and awareness for 6 charities directly impacted by COVID. This week we're shining a light on St Mungo's, headbands, t-shirts, sadly not a St Mungo's raincoat, so I've had to use my own. Anyway, we're doing a chair-based sequence outside this morning. Hopefully the wind won't provide too much of an interruption in terms of interference on the mic and that kind of thing, and you can hear me okay. And this session will also be uploaded onto YouTube later, so you can watch it back anytime, anywhere. Anyway, let's get started. Right, so we're going to start just with our hands on our knees, so we're in a comfortable seated position, so feel free to sit on the floor if it works better for you. Or on a chair. I'm just using my trusty IKEA stool, the £10 IKEA stool that I've used for many of my indoor sessions. Placing our palms across the knees and just closing our eyes and just bringing ourselves into this space that we've got together, this virtual space for this 15 minutes today. A wet and windy day in the UK. Not enough of a deterrent to get me outside again to run this session for you this morning. And as we close our eyes, we just turn our attention inwards, just focusing on the aches or tension we may be experiencing this morning. Be curious about our energy levels, our emotional state, anything else that you can just bring to this 15 minutes this morning that can help frame this stretch session, this practice that we've got in this virtual space today. We'll just start scanning our body all the way from the top of the head down towards our seat, so tailbone, sitting bones, grounding down towards the chair if we're using one, and then tracing that line all the way down towards the soles of the feet, the heels. And if you're outside this morning like me, then maybe even lifting each of the toes individually and just allowing them just to rest back down towards the floor and just feeling that contact of the ground, coming back up through the body all the way up towards the crown of the head and out through the top of the head towards the ceiling, or if you're outdoors, the sky above you. Nice soft gaze, open the eyes. So we're going to just start just by bringing some attention to the breath. So placing our palms across our belly. And we'll just start by lengthening along the back body, so feeling that space that we're creating also across the chest and the shoulders. So elbows reaching back. Just really feeling that subtle movement of the breath into the palms. Now let's attempt to lengthen and deepen the breath. Each time we breathe in, we're just lengthening that little bit more and really feel as though we're filling the palms with the breath. And each time we breathe out, that's emptying back out again, and really feel as though we're engaging those deep abdominal muscles, allowing every last ounce of that breath to leave the body. Now bring our hands up towards the ribs, almost concertina style, almost accordion style actually. So again, let's expand, let's lengthen the breath, let's see if we can fill the palms across the ribs this morning. Feel as though the ribs are separating away from one another each time we breathe in. And each time we breathe out, they're drawing back in towards the centre again. And again, almost imagine that it's an accordion, that we're expanding and contracting, filling the breath into the palms each time we inhale, and emptying back out again each time we exhale. Now bring the palms up across the chest. And same again, let's see if we can lengthen and deepen the breath up towards the palms across the chest. Really feeling the chest lift each time we breathe in, and sinking back down again, softening down towards the chair or the floor beneath us each time we breathe out. And just doing that for a couple more breaths. Slow, steady inhales, slow, steady exhales. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now we take our palms back across the knees, and we're going to still continue with that principle of integrating the breath with the movement and just trying to slow and steady the breath and really focus on the breath as we go through this sequence. So we're going to inhale as we lift our shoulders now up towards the ears, and we're going to slowly exhale as we lower the shoulders down and really feeling any tension across the shoulders just melting away. Now we do that twice more. Inhale and lift the shoulders up. And exhaling back down again. Once more. Inhale and lift up. And back down. Now this time as we inhale, we're going to look up towards the ceiling or the sky above us. So feeling that length now all the way along from the jawline, down along the front of the chest, down towards the navel. And as we breathe out, we bring our chin in towards the chest and just allowing the weight of the head just to sink down towards the floor. And feeling that stretch now all the way along the back of the neck. Now this time as we inhale, we'll lift our head up, we'll look up again, tilting the head back. And as we exhale, we're going to rotate our left ear across towards the left shoulder, chest, chin to chest, and then inhale, right ear to right shoulder, and then back. And we do that a couple more times in one direction. So integrating the breath with that movement, where it works for you, and then switching that rotation if you've not done so already in the opposite direction. So inhaling, chin to chest, ear to shoulder, exhaling, head back, ear to shoulder, into the front. And just really feeling that stretch to all four corners of it. Back to a neutral position again. Now we'll take our arms out, up and overhead as we inhale. And we're going to exhale, turn our palms down and round towards the centre. Inhale and lifting the arms up. Separating the arms away, palms away, down towards the floor and back to the centre. Inhaling, lifting the arms up in prayer position. Exhaling, turning the palms down and back in front of the heart. We'll do that in the opposite direction. So arms out to the side, palms facing upwards. As we inhale, exhaling back to centre. And we do that twice more. And once more, inhale and lift up. And exhaling back to centre. Now take our palms across the knees. I'm going to turn myself sideways on now just for a moment, just so you can see what I'm doing. So palms back across the knees, feet nice and grounded down through the floor. Sitting towards the front of the chair preferably, and maybe lifting one side of the back side and then the other, just feeling that connection through the sitting bones and the tailbone towards the chair. Pressing down through the palms, we're going to inhale and lift up. So look up, chest forward between the upper arms, arching the back, tailbone pointing back. And exhale, rounding the spine back, chin to chest, tailbone tucking. We'll do that twice more. Inhaling. Lift up, look up, chest forward, elbows tucking in to maximise that space across the chest. And exhale, rounding back. Once more. Maybe even closing the eyes this time. And just feeling that space that you're creating in the body. Across the full length of the spine, across the chest and the shoulders, all the way down towards the mid-body. Now back into a neutral position. I'll bring myself facing forward again. I'm just going to take this jacket off, it's a little bit in the way, unless it gets too heavy this rain. Okay, just check my seat is still stable. Okay, right, so we're going to lift our arms up and overhead this time. We're going to lower one arm down towards the side of the chair. Inhaling, lifting that opposite arm up towards the ceiling or the sky above, and exhaling to fold across. So again, just making sure that that top shoulder is not rounding down too far, and if it is, just lifting that upper arm back up towards the ceiling. Almost imagine that we're picking one of those apples out of the tree behind me. And grounding down through that opposite hip just to maximise that length and space that we're creating in the body, creating with the breath along that opposite side of the body. Now lifting both arms up and overhead again on an inhale, exhaling, opposite arm down, inhaling to lengthen, and exhaling to fold across. And again, maybe even closing the eyes just for a moment and really feeling into that space that you're creating. Each time you breathe in and out, filling that space all the way along from the fingers down towards the opposite hip. Arms back up and overhead again. And reaching those fingers nice and high up into the sky, towards the ceiling, feeling that length all the way along the side body, and then back down. And this time we'll inhale and lift our arms up and overhead. And we're going to twist around in one direction, so it doesn't matter which one. We rotate around, we take the opposite arm across the opposite knee, and the back hand around the back of the chair or onto the floor, tented fingers if you're sitting on the floor. Inhaling to lengthen along the spine, and exhaling to rotate around. Option to keep the gaze in the same direction as the chest, or looking over that back shoulder. Just introduces some lateral movement down for the spine. Inhaling, arms back up and overhead, and exhaling, twisting round in the opposite direction. Again, inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to rotate. Millimetre by millimetre, you may find you're just able to twist that a little bit further around towards the side. Inhaling back to centre, exhaling, hands back across the knees again. Now we'll take our feet nice and wide over the hips, and we're going to take our hands, we're going to interlock our fingers, and we're going to start gently stirring in one direction and then the other. So again, just go as deep or as shallow as works well for you this morning, as we look to create some space across the hips where we often, particularly when we're seated, store so much tension during the day. So if we found we've been working from home a lot over the past few months, sitting in this kind of position for extended periods, then this kind of movement can really help. Just to really ease some of that tension, create more space, not just for the body, but also for the breath. Maybe exhaling as we lean our body forward, inhaling as we come back, and then in the opposite direction, one flat at a time. Great stuff. Okay, we've got time for one more. So let's bring our feet back underneath our knees, hip distance apart. We're going to inhale and lift our arms up and overhead. In fact, we'll take our feet and knees just that little bit wider than the hips again. We're going to exhale and fold forward. And as we fold forward, we're going to take our hands and just bring them around the chair legs. So just allowing our upper body now to fold forward at the same height as the hips. Now if you're sitting on the floor and doing this, then feel free just to take the hands forward and just land them down on the floor in front of you in a comfortable cross-legged position. So just allowing that levering of the hands onto the legs, if you're sitting on a chair, just to allow the upper body just to sink down between the hips, keeping that nice length all the way along the spine, and maybe even sinking the head down a little bit further towards the floor. And again, just creating space between the hips, along the inner thighs. And really feel as though now you're directing the breath all the way along the back body, creating space along the spine. Slowly lifting yourself back up again. Bringing the feet now back underneath the knees. Bringing yourself towards the front of the chair again. Hands back across the knees. Closing the eyes. And just taking one last minute. Just bring yourself back to that start of the class, start of the session today. How you now feel after this 15-minute stretch this morning. What that has done for your physical and mental health and well-being. Maybe if you're outdoors like me today, then really embracing the beauty of nature that's all around you. Even on these most wet and blustery days, we can often feel the most alive. Nice soft gaze, open the eyes. There we go. That's our 15-minute stretch this morning. I hope you've really enjoyed the session. Great to get back outdoors again. About half an hour ago I really thought I was going to be indoors doing this in the Yoga Twins bedroom. As I said at the start, this is all about prioritising our own physical and mental health and well-being, but also supporting some good causes too. So feel free to share these videos, spread the message about what we're trying to achieve over the 6 weeks of the school holidays, and have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste.